I am here. So, what I wanted to talk about this morning is something that happened this morning. So, usually, when I'm getting dressed in the morning, I don't know what I'm gonna wear, until I usually like get out the shower. I know like when I was younger, sometimes we would lay our clothes out and be prepared and all that stuff because that's usually what type of person I am. I like to get things done in advance, but when it gets comes to like dressing in the morning, no. So anyways, I had picked this shirt out and I was like, I'm gonna wear this shirt, because I hadn't worn it for a while, and so I was looking for my pants and I couldn't. I have these particular pants that I wanted to wear with my shirt, and so I'm just looking straight like this, right? And so I'm going through my clothes, I'm going through, and I can't find my shirt, my pants. And so, of course, I'm on a particular time schedule where I have to be out of the house by a particular time, and so I'm going through. So I go through my whole closet, I don't find it. And so something whispered in my ear, you're looking from the wrong angle. I was like, oh, okay. So I put my head to the side and I went kind of down like this and I was looking and I'm looking like, and so I looked from a different angle and lo and behold, the pants just popped up and I was just like, I was like, I need to talk about that because sometimes that's what happens in our life, is that we are facing things at face value, right? And so sometimes when we hear, things on the side of us, or, we'll hear spirit or we'll hear different things, we don't listen to that. And so, sometimes when you're facing things, you might have to look at it from a different angle. Just because you're looking at it from the angle that you see doesn't mean that that's what's really always going on, right? And so Spirit was like, Jennifer, why don't you get on and talk about that? Why she got glasses on? Ain't no sun out here. But anyways, and so I was just like, you know what? You're right. And so this is my message to you today is that whatever you're going through, maybe you need to look at it from a different angle than what you have been looking at it. If you're looking straight ahead, maybe you need to get down and look on the side. Maybe you need to look on this way. Maybe you need to look a different way than what you've been looking at. And so when Spirit told me that this morning, I was like, you know what? You're right. And so my thing is that there is a lot of things going on. I know one of my mentees, spoke to him yesterday and he was like, how are you handling everything? And I'm like, handling what? And he was like, handling everything that's going on in the world. And so the thing is that with me being an empath, I could pick up every single thing. I pick up everybody's energy, right? So I have to always stay ahead of the curve by making sure that I can focus on things that I can change. I know like we have the serenity prayer, where it focuses on trying to change the things that you can change. I'm not saying that, oh, you shouldn't be worried about it or, you shouldn't be trying to do anything about it. No, I'm not saying that. Only thing that I'm saying is that if you can do little things around you, hi, hey guys, hey, what I'm saying is that the little things that you can do in your local community or in your network or in your circle, focus on that. Of course, basically, my bottom line is that don't let the world bring you down. And so I'll never forget, like maybe a couple of weeks ago, I was having some issues at work or, whatever. And I'll never forget, I was driving home and Goddess Isis came to me and she was talking to me and she said, plain as day, I did not build you up for them to tear you down. And I was just like, I just was just like, whoa. And she said it plain as day, like I'm plain as day speaking to you. That's how she spoke to me. And I said, you're right, and it kind of just like, it was kind of like a slap in my face. And I was just like, yo, I need to wake up. Like, I'm letting all the stuff that's, whatever, that I had going on, I was letting that bring me down. And they're like, Spirit's like, no, 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 no. You don't let that bring you down. It's okay to feel the feelings, but don't let that tear you down. You don't let anybody steer your joy. Like my grandpa used to say, you don't let no puny man bring you down, and just like with my husband, I know he likes to say too, because sometimes, like, if I'm going to interviews or if I'm doing different things, I'm like, boo, I'm nervous, blah, 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 and he was like, why? The people that you're going to interview with, they put on their pants the same way that you put your pants on, which means that they put their pants on one leg at a time, and then they put the other leg on. I was just like, you know what? That's true, and so that's what Spirit put into me today to talk about was, yes, there's always going to be different things going on. There's always going to be something going on, but don't let that tear you down. You stay who you are. You stay who you are. I had to realize that, like, with me being a empath and me having these gifts and different things, I got to do a little bit extra to make sure that I keep this thing up here sane. So when I'm at work or, when I go to work, whatever, first thing I'm doing, I'm putting my AirPods on. I'm listening how to balance my chakras. I'm listening how to put up my 12D shield. I'm doing different things like that because I have to always stay right. What are you doing for your mind to stay sane? What are you guys doing? I'm doing my chakras. I'm making sure, that I don't subscribe to a lot of negativity. I make sure that whatever goes on, what I see here and what I listen to, I'm making sure that it's for the up and up. Do I always know? I'm not gonna lie and say sometimes no, that I don't put on my sugar-free and, while you're bullshit, whatever, yes. I had to put on what I had. Yes, I like Glorilla. So what? I listen to that and I get pumped up, but sometimes you have to listen to what the message is. We have to listen to that. So that was my little message for today, is that don't let what's going on around you affect you. Don't let it affect this. This is your temple. A simple thing you can do, which is put white light around you. Diane, what's the white light? Put a white light of protection around you. Protect yourself. Protect yourself. Stay protected at all times. At all times, so you won't be caught slipping, because right now that, like, the energy is extremely dense. It's like, oh, and the thing is that we have to be proactive about that. I know, like I said, about my clothes, about not picking them out in the morning and everything, but everything's already hung up, so I can just pick it out. Okay, I'm wearing this, whatever. But when it comes to your spirituality and to your temple, you have to be proactive about that. You have to be. Because we can't be caught slipping out here, because that's what they want. They want us to be sad. They want us to be angry. They want us to be acting a fool. They want us to do this. They want us just to be, all the time. No. We good over here. How y'all doing? So anyways, stay on top of your spirituality. Don't get caught slipping out in them spiritual streets. Because it's a lot going on. It's a lot that we don't even see. It's a lot going on. I know yesterday I was sitting in the living room, and I just seen people just running by. A lot of times when I'm seeing the spirits and stuff, I don't really tell my husband and I don't tell my daughter and stuff, because sometimes they trip. They just be like, oh, who is it? And so sometimes I don't even tell them. I just look like, what y'all want now? What y'all ripping and running for? I see you guys. Like, I see you. Like, the other day, it was just, somebody was just sitting in my room, and they were like 8 feet tall. I'm just looking at them, and I'm like, That's all you guys got. That's what you got for me. Okay. Hi. How are you doing? Yes, I see you. Sometimes all they want is a little acknowledgement. That's what I give them. Hey, what's going on? And I'll be like, Michael, what's going on? They're like, oh, they just want to say hi. Okay. They're tall. But the bottom line here is just to say, stay spiritually protected out in those streets. And you guys have a great day.